Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into Chapter 4 of the Science Form 2 textbook, but we're going to look at it like an epic tale. I want you to imagine your body for a second. It's not just a biological machine, it's literally a heavily fortified castle that is constantly under siege. Every single day, these invisible armies are trying to breach your walls, and your body mounts incredibly dynamic defenses just to keep you alive.
So let's start with a really big question to set the stakes here. Why do we get sick? And honestly, how do we even survive it? Right now, as you're sitting here listening to this, there are unseen battles happening inside your body. The simple fact that you're healthy and breathing is a massive testament to the incredible defense mechanisms you carry around with you everywhere you go. Okay, so here is our battle plan for today. We'll be looking at 1, the invisible war, 2, how invaders spread, 3, the first 2 defenses, 4, the third line immunity, and finally, 5, building a strong fortress.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the invisible war. To really understand this battle, we first have to realize that not all diseases are the same. It's a crucial distinction. You've got non-infectious diseases, things like cancer, asthma, or diabetes. These are internal issues driven by genetics or lifestyle. I mean, you can't just catch asthma from someone, right? But then you have infectious diseases. These are the external invaders. It absolutely blew my mind to learn just how relentless these pathogens, viruses, bacteria, protozoa, and fungi can actually be. Diseases like tuberculosis, the flu, or Zika, they're all caused by these pathogens, and they can easily spread from one host to another.
Moving on to Section 2, how invaders spread.
So how do these external enemies actually travel from person to person and breach our walls? Well, think about a single sneeze, or being stuck on a crowded bus. Airborne pathogens like H1N1 or tuberculosis spread super easily through tiny droplets when an infected person sneezes or coughs. But they also spread through dust. Bacteria from saliva can actually dry up, form spores, and literally float through the air as dust. This is exactly why covering our mouths and avoiding overly crowded spaces are our absolute first behavioral lines of defense.
But it's not just the air. These invaders use other transport vehicles to reach our fortress. They can be waterborne, like cholera, which spreads when poor sanitation allows fecal pathogens to pollute drinking water. They can spread through direct contact, like the fungi that cause ringworm, or viruses like HIV. And then there are the vectors. These are animals that act as carriers. Aedes mosquitoes inject viruses that cause dengue and Zika right into our bloodstream. Flies land on contaminated dirt and bring those pathogens straight to our food. Rats can spread leptospirosis through contaminated soil and water. You see, the enemy is incredibly resourceful.
Which brings us to Section 3, the first 2 defenses.
Okay, so the enemy has arrived by air, water, or vector. How does our fortress actually hold them off? Well, the body relies on a sequential escalation of defenses. Think of it like a 3-tier system. We start with the physical outer walls for prevention. If those fail, we deploy the general infantry for direct combat. And if the invaders are truly formidable, we call in the highly specialized elite forces to produce targeted antibodies.
It is honestly amazing to realize how heavily fortified our outer walls are. Your skin is nearly impossible to penetrate unless you have a wound. Plus, our sweat and sebum contain chemicals that literally kill microorganisms on contact. And for the openings we do have, like our nose and our mouth, we deploy sticky mucus, nasal hairs, and yes, even earwax, to trap the invaders. These act as natural, built-in antiseptics. They have one highly glamorous job: absolutely no entry. But, what if you get a cut? What if an invader slips past the mucus? That's when they face our general infantry, our white blood cells. This triggers a process called phagocytosis, and let me tell you, it is brutal. These cells don't just fight, they literally engulf, trap, and digest pathogens alive using enzymes. They eat the enemy to prevent them from causing harm. Now for Section 4, the third line, immunity. What happens if an invader is just too strong, survives that brutal infantry, and actually makes it into the bloodstream? Well, this is where the real war begins, and it's all about antigens and antibodies. When a foreign stranger, a pathogen or a toxin, enters the body, we call that an antigen. Our body recognizes that it doesn't belong. Instantly, specialized white blood cells deploy antibodies. Think of antibodies as custom-built proteins designed to attach to that exact specific enemy. They clump the pathogens together so they are completely neutralized and cannot attack our host cells. This powerful, targeted ability to resist pathogens is what we call immunity. We can actually map our immunity out on a simple matrix to see the 4 different ways we achieve it. First, there's active immunity. This means your own body does the hard work of building the weapons, and because you made them, this immunity lasts a long time. You can get this naturally by catching a disease and recovering from it, or artificially through a vaccine, which safely introduces a weakened or dead pathogen just to train your body. On the flip side, we have passive immunity. This means you borrow antibodies from an outside source. It acts fast, but it's only temporary. You get this naturally as a baby through your mother's breast milk or placenta, or if you are already severely sick, a doctor can give you artificial passive immunity by injecting an antiserum. That's a liquid packed with ready-made antibodies to fight the immediate threat.
And finally, Section 5, building a strong fortress.
We've seen how incredible our body's defense mechanisms are. But look, even the strongest castle needs daily maintenance to keep its soldiers ready for the next siege, right? To maintain your body's immunity, you've got to commit to daily, actionable practices. Your immune system is deeply tied to your lifestyle. You absolutely have to give your body enough sleep and rest to recover. Regular exercise and breathing fresh air keep all your systems functioning optimally. And conversely, you have to avoid actively weakening your own defenses. Exposure to polluted air and cigarette smoke directly harms your respiratory barriers. High stress levels, they actually suppress your white blood cell function. And excessive sugar intake can quite literally impair your immune system's ability to fight off infections.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought. Your body fights and wins hundreds of unseen battles for you every single day. The skin, the mucus, the white blood cells, the custom-built antibodies, they are all working in perfect harmony. But at the end of the day, they rely on you to provide the right conditions. Take a look at your habits today. Are you giving your fortress the daily reinforcements it needs to win tomorrow's invisible war? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and stay healthy out there.